Hi everyone, welcome to this last video on the topic of simple interest and compound interest, and it's a very important area called installments. Uh, we've all heard of the term installments. You know that we've heard EMIs, and in today's world, everybody keeps talking about I have to pay so much EMI for my car, my house, and so on, so on. Now, how does it work? What are the calculations, and what kind of questions are going to be asked in CAT? We can have a look at those. Okay, so let's have a look at the first. Let's try and understand a concept. Now, what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to just take a random value just to explain the concept to you. Suppose if I borrowed some money, principal, from a bank, say for 3 years. Say if I borrowed 10,000 rupees for 3 years. Okay. Now, if I'm borrowing 10,000 for 3 years, how much do I have to pay every year in terms of an installment? Remember, most of the questions in which I asked around CAT are yearly installments. They're not monthly installments. Okay. So the number of years which we are looking at is 3 years in this question. And we have to find what is the installment amount. So we'll call that as X, suppose. And the rate is given assuming 10% per annum compounded annually. Now, how do you do such a question? See, remember 10,000 is what you borrowed today, which means all the amount, which is 10,000 plus all the interest, was actually payable after 3 years. So 10,000 into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to 3. This becomes if you were going to pay everything after 3 years, this is the amount you would have to pay. That would have become 10,000 into 1 plus 10 upon 100. 1 plus 10 upon 100 would be 1.1 or 11 upon 10, whatever you're comfortable with. 11 upon 10 raised to 3. So this is the amount you would have to pay after 3 years. Now let's have a look at the right hand side of the equation. Now what am I paying so that everything becomes equal? Instead of paying everything after 3 years, what did I decide? I will pay something after 1 year. I will pay some same amount after one more year and same after third year. So I paid say X rupees after 1 year. But I was actually, my left hand side of the calculation I have done based on what I have to pay after 3 years. So can I say this X, which I paid after 1 year, I actually have paid 2 years early. So hence I will earn 2 years ka interest on that, right? Because instead of paying everything after 3 years, I paid this 2 years early. Same way the second X, I paid 1 year early. And the last X, I paid just in time. Okay. So this becomes my right hand side equation. And this will be a standard thing. Every single time you will make this equation. So over here, this is 10. You could write it as R. So this becomes like a formula. If X is your installment, R is the rate. And if the number of years are 3, then this will always be 2. So this you will start with 1 less than the number of years. So N is 3, you'll start over here with 2, 1 and 0. So what would the calculation look like? It will become X into 11 upon 10 raised to 2 plus X into, if I'm taking R as 10, this will become 11 upon 10 plus X. And then solving of this would become, just depending on what numbers are there, you could solve this. So for example, if I cut the 3 zeros out over here, 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10. So if I cut the 3 zeros out, I'll be left with 10 into 11 into 11 into 11, which is 1331. This will become 121 upon 100x plus 11 upon 10x plus x. And then you take LCM. So 10 into 1331 is equal to 100 is my LCM. So I'll get 121x plus 110x plus 100x. That will become 331x, right? So what will be your value of x? Your value of x will be 10 into 1331 into 100 divided by 331. Now over here, you're not going to get a proper answer divided by 331 because this was a question which I just randomly made up. Okay. So normally if this with 10% is there, the principal borrowed, they will give you some other value, which will make your calculations easier. So this is how you will look at doing this type of question every single time. And this is the concept of installments. Let's have a look at some questions which have been asked in CAT. Like the first question itself is a CAT question. Okay. John borrowed 2,10,000 from a bank at an interest of 10% per annum compounded annually. So this was the principal which he borrowed, 10% per annum. The loan was repaid in two equal installments. The first after 1 year and the second after another year. The first installment was the interest of 1 year plus the part of the principal amount. So the two equal installments, while the second was the rest of the principal amount plus the whatever there was the interest. Now, basically the installments are two equal installments, right? Then each installment is how much? Let's see whether we can do the exact approach which we did behind. 2,10,000. And I will show you one more approach for this particular question also. It is only 2 years. So left hand side will be 1 plus 10 upon 100 raised to 2. Let's say the first installment is x. So x into 1 plus 10 upon 100 raised to 1 plus x only, right? The way I'd explain it to you. So we'll get 2,10,000. This will be 11 upon 10. 11 upon 10 two times will become 121 upon 100. This will become x into 11 upon 10 plus x. So I'll cut two zeros out over here. Please don't multiply. 2100 into 121. Here I'll take LCM. What will I get? I'll get 11x plus 10x is 21x, right? So this will become, if I take LCM properly, it will be 21x upon 10. 21 will cut over here. 21 ones are 100. Take this 10 on top. So my x ka value is 121,000. 1,21,000 is the installment. Now, if you check 1,21,000 after 2 years, for 2 years, if you're going to pay, it will be you actually paying 2,42,000. So obviously you'll be paying more because you're also paying some interest on this. This is one way of doing this question, which is a pretty neat installment wala method. Because it was only 2 years, you could have done slightly differently also. Not compulsory, but you could have done it without knowing too much installment ka concept. So let's pay attention. How would you do that? I had borrowed 2,10,000, right? Let's see what would happen after 1 year. After 1 year, the bank charges me 10% interest. That means the bank says that you have to pay us 21,000 more. That means at the end of 1 year, I have to pay the bank 2,31,000. I don't have the whole amount and I tell them, okay, I'll pay you X rupees today. So, okay, bank says, okay, great. We will cut X from your this, and which means the balance amount which you still have to pay is 2,31,000 minus X, on which the bank again charges 10%. So when I charge 10%, see, from here to here also you could have reached by multiplying by 1.1, which I will do now. 2,31,000 minus X into 1.1. This amount again I pay by paying only X rupees. So this is also nothing but X. So let's solve it very carefully. 2,31,000 into 1.1 minus 1.1x is equal to X. Only solving carefully is to be done. If I remove this decimal, I get a 0 over here, cut out. 23,100 into 11. I'm in no rush to multiply. This 1.1 goes on the other side, becomes 1 plus 1.1. So it will become 2.1x, right? So 23100 into 11 divided by 2.1 is equal to X. Remove the decimal, put the 0 over here. 21 ones is 21. 21 ones is 21, 0, 0. So we are left with 11 into 11 is 121 and 3 zeros, that is X, which is 1,21,000, which is what we had got earlier also. This is an easy method of doing for 2 years. But if you understood installments, then you can always do the earlier method, which I've explained, because that will be the standard approach you can use for all questions. Okay, let's go ahead with the next question. A small logistics startup purchases delivery equipment by taking a loan of 12,000 from a finance company. So they've taken a loan of 12,000 from a finance company. The loan carries an interest rate of 10% per annum compounded annually. At the end of each year, the company repays 3,000. So instead of paying equal installment, they're saying 3,000 we'll pay first as a partial repayment of the loan. What additional amount must the company pay at the end of the third year to completely close the loan? So in short, after paying 3,000 also, they had to still pay the finance company more. What is that amount? We want to find out. So 12,000 was my borrowing, which I will have to multiply by 10%. So 11 by 10 raised to 3 because I'm going to pay 3 times. Okay, now first time when I pay them 3,000, this 3,000 I paid 2 years early. So I will earn interest for 2 years. Second 3,000, I will earn interest for 1 year. Last 3,000, I will not earn any interest and I'll have to still pay them some value so that my loan closes. Great. Let's calculate how will we do this. This will be 12,000 into 1331 upon 1,000. So 3 zeros will cut out. Here we'll have 3,000 into 121 upon 100 plus 3,000 into 11 upon 10 plus 3,000 plus x. So 2 zeros cut out over here. One more zero cut out. No need for LCM, no waste of time. We are left with 12 into 1331 is 121 threes. That will become 363, 3630 plus 300 into 11. That will be 3,300 plus 3,000 plus x. Now it's only calculations which I have to do very carefully. 12 ones are 12, 1 carry. 12 here, 36 plus 1, 37, 3 carry. 36 plus 3 is 39, 3 carry. 15,972 minus how much will this amount be? 9,930, right? 9,000 I can see 630 and 300 is 930. So 9,930. That will give me x. And that x will be equal to how much? Let's just do the subtraction carefully. 2, 7 minus 3 is 4, 9 minus 9 is 0, and 15 minus 9 is 6. So even after paying 3,000 every year, I will have to still pay 6,042 rupees after 3 years so that my loan closes. And this was a slightly different sum where they had given the installment, which was not enough. The amount of installment was not enough, and that is why something had to be paid at the end of the third year. And that is how you do this question. Okay, pretty interesting question. Please go through it carefully. Next one. Vikas purchased a house priced 30 lakhs. He makes a down payment of 4,78,000 and the remaining amount is financed by a bank. So we'll find out how much is the loan amount. The loan is to be repaid in 3 equal annual installments, payable at the end of each year. The bank charges a rate of 5% per annum, compounded annually. Find the amount of each installment. Great, looks like a regular question. I just need to find out how much is the loan. So it will be 25 lakhs and 22,000. 25 lakhs, 22,000 is the amount of loan at the rate of 5% for 3 years. 5% becomes 1 plus 5 upon 100. Okay, I'm just showing it to you over here. 1 plus 5 upon 100, which is 1 by 20. So it will be 21 by 20 because it is 3 years. Left hand side will be 3 years. Right hand side, I need the installment. So x into 21 upon 20 the whole square plus x into 21 upon 20 plus the third x. As I said, this is always a standard method. You don't really have to worry about anything. Okay. I just am worrying about my calculations. I haven't made any mistake in that. 25 lakh 22,000 looks correct. So 25 lakhs 22,000 into 21 into 21 into 21, which is 441 into 21. I'm not doing the calculation now. I will just see whether later anything cuts out or not. Upon 8,000. Okay, this becomes x 441 upon 400x plus 21 upon 20x plus x. Right? So this 3 zeros to cut over here definitely. Does this go in 8? It definitely goes in 4. I'm not very sure about 8. We'll check. 8 3s are 24. No, it doesn't go in 8. Right? So it goes in 2 actually. 2 4s are. This will become 1 2 6 1. So we are left with 1261 into 441 into 21 upon 4 is equal to LCM over here is 400. What will I get? I'll get 441x plus this will go 20 times. So 21 into 20 will be 420x plus this will go 400 times of 400x. How much will this become? This will become, wow, I've got lucky and this will become exactly 1261. 4 ones are 4 hundreds are. So this is 1261 into 441 into 21 into this 100 is equal to 1261x. And this 1261 exactly cuts over here. So x is nothing but 441 into 21 into 100. So let's do this calculation carefully. 21 ones are 21. 2 carry. 21 fours are is 84. 84 plus 2 is 86. 8 carry. 21 fours are is again 84. 84 plus 8 is 92. 9261 with 2 zeros. And that becomes the installment, the annual installment Vikas has to pay. The method was exactly same approach, nothing different. Main thing you will have to understand that when the examiner makes the question, he puts this number in such a way that it is going to cut from the right hand side. And that is what you will always have to look very carefully unless he is expecting an answer in decimals, which also can be asked because you have a calculator allowed. He can say, okay, do the last step in decimals and get an approximate answer, which is also okay. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question is slightly different. Pay attention very carefully. What equal annual installment payable at the end of each year will discharge a debt of 32,464 due in 3 years? Now, this is very important. This amount is already due after 3 years. That means I didn't have to pay, I didn't borrow something today. I had to pay somebody 32,464 after 3 years. That means this is already my left hand side. I don't have to do any calculation on the left hand side. Very important, okay? While if the rate of interest is 8% per annum, now 3 years, that means left hand side will be same, installment is x. So I'll get 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to 2 plus x into 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to 1 plus the x. Now only the calculations have to be done carefully. 32464. This is 4 2s are 4 25s are 4 2s are 4 25s are. So this will become 27 upon 25. 27 square should be 729. So 729 upon 625 plus x into 27 upon 25 plus x. Let's take LCM very carefully. 625 is my LCM. So I'll get a 729x over here plus 25 goes 25 times. So this will become 27 into 25, which will be 675 plus 625x. These two can be easily added. That will become 1300. So plus 700, 2000, 2029. Hopefully that will go over here. That has to be my aim. Okay. 32464. So 32464 into 625 divided by how much we said? 2029 is equal to x. Now I can see first time it will go. I'm not even trying to cut it with some number because or what I can do is I can just go to the rough work and factorize this number. 32464. I can start dividing by 4. 4 8s are 32. 4 1s are 4 1s are 4 6s are. It will again go in 4. 4 2s are 0. 4 2s are 8 and 9. Great. So 32464 is nothing but 4 into 4 into 2029. So 2029 will cut here exactly 16 times. That's exactly 16 times. And my answer is 625 into 16. Now just to pay attention how I would do a 625 into 16. So I would put it as 4 into 4. 625 4 is easy to do. Double of 625 is 1250. Double of that is 2500. So it's 2500 into 4, which is 10,000. Okay. Just look at the last calculation bit. Let's makes life easy a little bit. 1250 ka double 2500 and 4 times of that becomes 10,000. So the installment which I have to pay over here is 10,000 rupees. Now this was again a proper question made up of the same logic, but this part was different, where on the left hand side I didn't have to do that 27 upon 25 3 times. Why? Because this was the amount which was already payable after 3 years. So people who understand, the commerce students will understand something. That means that was already the future value. It was not the present value of money. That's already the future value. And that is why we don't have to find the amount. Important part, pay attention very carefully. Last question. Normally, all questions of installments are asked around compound interest. But I'm just showing you one question around simple interest so that if it comes up, you should know how to do it. What equal annual installment payable at the end of each year will discharge a debt of 5,800 due in 5 years if the rate of 8% per annum is taken on simple interest? Completely different approach of method. Let's assume your installment is 100 rupees. Okay. So you are paying, the logic is saying that you are paying this 100 4 years early. You're paying this 4 years early. So that means you will get 8% 4 times. You will get 8% 4 times. Okay. And this is already due after 5 years, right? So this 100 which you're paying 4 years early, you're earning 32% interest. 32% of 100 will become 32 rupees. So you will get 132. Second installment is also 100, in which you are getting 3 years ka interest. So you'll get 24%. So you'll get 124. It will become. Third is also 100, where you will earn only 16 rupees, 2 years ka interest. So 116. And last 100 is 8 rupees, which will be 108 rupees. So how much have you got? Let's pay attention very carefully. You've got 400 plus this is 40, 40, 80. So 480 rupees. Okay, the last 100 so you paid just upon time. So that 100 also will be taken. So that will be 580, including this last 100. Let's check the once more. 50, 60, 70, 80, right? 580. So basically, if my installment was 100 every year, if my installment was 100, my total payable value becomes 580, but the real value is 5,800. So what should be my total installment? 5,800 into 100 upon 580, which will be 1,000 rupees. Simple interest questions, as usual, are always very simple. Just pay attention very carefully to how the simple interest is calculated. There's no proper logic formula to it. Just keep adding the interest which you get every year, because there's no interest on interest. You will just get the same interest every year. Well, that completes all the different type of questions which can be asked around installment. If you'll go through this video for installment, that should be more than enough. Best of luck. Thank you for watching.